Today we have Jamie Lee with us. This is my sister-in-law, and she's been shooting for a couple years now, and we thought we'd work today on tightening up your groups and seeing if we can't get her shooting pretty good at 10 yards. All right, what you just saw was Jamie shooting 16 rounds, I believe, out of this Glock. And what we have are, this was her first shot. She was aiming right in this area where we told her to aim. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I believe we have 11. If we could look back on camera, I didn't see them all, but I think what you would see on the others that didn't hit is you would see low, and I want to explain why. What happens a lot of time with new shooters, and what we're going to try to capture for you today and try to fix today and shrink this group up for Jamie, is if you were to watch in super slow motion, what a shooter does is they start to press the trigger, and before the gun goes off, it dips in anticipation. So it's boom, and then the gun goes off. And so what's happening is they're flinching. They don't notice it when the gun's actually hot because the bang is preventing them from realizing that they're flinching down. But what's happening is when they flinch down before the shot, those rounds go low, and that's what you see here. You see rounds, I don't know what this is, 8 to 14 inches low, and some are even lower, and we're going to try to fix this problem and help Jamie see it and correct it today with a little drill. What I'm going to do to Jamie's magazine is I am going to randomly load it with a mix of live and fake rounds. This round is called a snap cap. It is a round that when you fire it in the gun, just goes click. It will not fire. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to randomly put these in here so that she does not know which rounds are dead. And we will watch what happens to her reflexes. And you'll get to see just how bad her flinching low is. And hopefully it will be instructive. Once we help diagnose so she realizes what is happening in her hands, we can help her then fix this problem and start to reduce the flinching. And if we're successful, you'll see it on the steel. It'll be tighter groups.
Is that one?
Okay, this is where you tap and rack it. Now I'm gonna pause you. Next one, you're gonna turn it this way to rack, so it falls out to the right.
This way or this way?
That way.
Okay. So this way?
Yep. Yep.
It's hard that way. Shit.
Nice.
Oh, stuck.
Okay. Well, this turned out just perfect as an example. If you're looking here at the steel that Jamie was shooting at, she was shooting at 10 yards. This was her first shot. So this is after she'd shot one magazine at this target. Her hand was kind of used to the recoil and was starting to anticipate the recoil of the gun. And so sure enough, first thing, she pulled up, flinched down, and she hit here when she's aiming up here. And then I forget, I'm not remembering which rounds were the fake rounds in the gun, but you saw her first flinch be, And when you see that and you catch yourself doing that, realize that wherever you ended up, that's how low you were. Or you were on your way. You're low. The more you flinch, the lower you will hit on target. So as she started to run into a snap cap, have a fake round, and yell at herself, didn't you like her squealing at herself? She once she got rid of that round and put another round in there, each time she ran into another fake round, she never eliminated the flinch. She was never rock solid, but it got a lot better. And the evidence is easy to see. Look at this group. You know where she was aiming? Right there. I would say that is a very acceptable group. And you could just see, just being aware of what your body is doing with anticipating the recoil by using these snap caps helps to eliminate it. Now, we'll keep working on this, and there's other ways to do it, but the first step, just recognizing that you need to control your flinching and the anticipation of the recoil, and snap caps are the way to do it. The evidence is right there. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna work on here is how to have some tools to better press this trigger without anticipating the recoil. And what I want you to think of is you were trying to press this trigger and as if you didn't think the gun was going to go off. And the bang should surprise you, okay? This is how it was first taught to me, and that's something I want you to just slowly build pressure as you roll back the trigger and have it, it kind of jumps up in your hands a little bit, okay?
Okay, the interesting thing is my trigger finger, you probably can't tell, but it's already halfway pulled every time. So I need to totally take my finger off.
Not necessarily. You're taking the slack out of the trigger in the beginning.
Yeah.
That loose part's okay.
Okay.
The first half of the trigger pull is the loose part, and then once you get to the harder part, from there, slowly build pressure on the trigger until it goes bang.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Hit the same spot. Slowly build pressure. You hit that center middle one again. You're dry. So that tightened up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we look at that and we're like, all right, that's getting pretty good. A couple of those, I think 3 of those are the same hole, that middle one. I see a couple other things I'm not going to go into that we can correct to get them from going over on the left side like they are to bring them over. But now we're dealing with the shots only dropping 3 inches and we've really cut the flinch down. So now, another trick that I want you to try with this is we're just going to do a dry fire drill. These are not live rounds. What this is trying to do, I want you to put these in your gun, fire, it's not going to go bang. Okay. I want you to remember the feeling that this feels like, okay? When you're shooting at this, I just want you to pretend and take these shots, right? Mm-hmm. And capture the feeling of this is what it feels like to press this trigger. Don't move the sights, gradually build pressure on the trigger, and just get click and try to be steady.
Okay.
Okay? We're trying to capture the feeling of what it's supposed to feel like to be super steady.
Okay.
Okay?
So I just pull it back?
Just a ½ inch back, yeah. There you go.
Oops. Wasn't supposed to do that?
Too far.
Do I need to put it back
There's another one in there. You can go.
Okay.
Keep going till there's no flinch. Perfect. How you just had no flinch there? That's how you're supposed, remember that feeling. Take a couple more. That's what it should feel like with real bullets in the gun. There's no difference. Okay, now let's put some live rounds back in your gun and see what it shows up for your groups.
Ow! Hit me in the head.
Okay. So what you saw there is pretty instructive, I hope. I had her take some dry practice shots, no bullets in the gun until she had felt what it was like to pull the trigger without flinching on a dry gun. And what you saw is her body was able to remember that feeling for about the first 3 shots. I think this was the first. That's not a flinch. That's a little high, but that's not flinching down. And I forget where the others were, but they were right, one of these, 2 of these 3 shots right here. And then after that, her body started to anticipate the recoil. It just takes repetitions of these kinds of drills before you can shut that stuff down in your brain and translate. And so it's just going to take practice. But even still, her drop at 10 yards is only, what is that, 3 inches, 4 inches, something like that. Certainly a lot better than some of the other hole shots we had earlier. I mean, it's a pretty tight group when you compare, I don't know what we shot here today, 40 or maybe so shots, comparing the end group to what we started with. Doing these sorts of things with the snap caps, with the dry practice drills, over and over, and just repeating this, you will get a lot better and really start to shoot tighter groups.